Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Captain, you did mention how this could have better been handled, but ISWAP has said that it has carried out its threat, it has carried out its words, and it was going to they will go ahead and kill Hauwa Liman. And truly they did. But the big question now is that if they got the information, if the government got the information 24 hours, there was a prior information that was communicated to the government by the ICRC, that this is what Boko Haram has said that it will do if they refuse to accede to their demands. What happened between that time? Why didn't the government move in such a way that we could have avoided this killing?
Well, I will agree with you that, look, I think our moves were rather too slow, if at all we did any. More so given the fact that there was a prior information before now, before the 24 hours deadline, you know, came into being. We were already in the know that, look, these guys were already threatening to carry out this. I must just say this, that it still boils down to the issue I talked about at the opening aspect of my submissions here. There is what I refer to as the big six, which if we address within the military and in the police, it will take care of whatever the short-term, medium-term, and even long-term requirements that will be able to address some of these things. And what are these big six? Funding, equipment, manpower, logistics, okay, training, welfare. If we address these 6 issues, which I see as the bedrock of any law enforcement agency or the military, frankly speaking, to start with, it will move the military away from the bulk of the areas within which we are presently deployed in the country and be able to concentrate or engage in some form of first generation for the Northeast to be able to meet manpower requirements in the Northeast. One basic problem that I know we have here is manpower. If that could be addressed, additional funding, like I said, if that too can be addressed, there are lots of
additional
things
funding,
we need to do.
Additional funding again. I mean, this is the same army that had $1 billion released to try to fight insurgency in the Northeast and other crimes in the country. And what has happened? What's the status of that?
Gimba, if only you just allow me to land with my thoughts, okay? I am on the same page with you. Frankly speaking, government has a responsibility, having gone into a social contract pact with the people. And if anything goes wrong like this, government must accept the blame. Whatever you tell us you are doing well, your best is not good enough. Can you just try more, all right, and protect citizens? Fine. You said some monies had been released, the 1 billion thing you're talking about and so on. Look, to start with, I hope you understand Nigeria is at war. Whether we want to accept it or not, we're at war. Under a war situation, there is nothing like, look, we have funded the military enough. You can never fund any military enough. That is not to say that other sectors within the economy should be disregarded.
Is that the case, Mr. Mock? Have we not funded the military enough?
I think we have overfunded the military.
No.
Mr. Hassan, I mean, Colonel, please, just with due recognition to you, I believe we funded the military enough. Too much so. I mean, we have insecurity across the country. This girl was not kidnapped yesterday. What was the government doing last month, 2 months ago? We have more than 100 Chibok girls still missing. Is it that we've forgotten them 5 years after? More than 100 Chibok girls are still missing. I mean, what are we saying? If you go to Faloma Roundabout, their names, each time I pass Faloma Roundabout, it turns my stomach when I see the names of these girls around the roundabout that are still missing. We're talking about Hauwa. She was not kidnapped yesterday. I'm telling you, we have insecurity. Herdsmen are across the country settling in different, and a lot of these herdsmen we hear are foreigners, as the government, some members of government said. They are just settling, and a lot of them are armed across the country. If we do not holistically. You see, for me, Hauwa was killed. Hauwa is a symptom of failure. Her death is symptom of failure because you've dealt with, serious security organizations have said, you've dealt with the major infrastructure of these terrorists. They are now in pockets, but they are still receiving funding. They are still able to bring in arms to fund themselves. And you have the CID system, you have military police, you have all of this, you have the Americans wanting to help you, and yet you are not able to track how these weapons are coming into Nigeria, how these people are able to have weapons. And they are, especially for this Boko Haram thing, localized in about the northeast area, that you can cut off, do house-to-house search, cordon and search areas until you clean the area out completely. If they are no longer in Nigeria and they are in Cameroon, then you will know they are operating in Nigeria from Cameroon. Or if they are operating in Nigeria from Chad, or they are operating in Nigeria from Niger, you will know that. You've dealt with it. You have the army. You are paying salaries. So these Boko Haram are killing Nigerian soldiers. Check. Recently, say 80-something soldiers were ambushed and killed. I mean, imagine. So for me, I'm not looking at any kind of negotiation to give money to
what then is the missing link?
The missing link for me, is, listen, if I put you on a line in my manufacturing system and that line is failing, I hold you responsible. We have the chief of the security forces. They are trained to deal with situations like this. These are failures. These people are using phones. We have people trained in communications and security. These people are using phones. These people are using email. They can be tracked. The Americans have offered us help. The Israelis have offered us help. The British, Europeans, the French have offered us help. We have Nigerian security forces able to deal with this. You hear soldiers saying that they are begging to eat. They don't have enough. This, when he's talking about welfare of the officers, they don't have enough weapons. All kinds of things you hear about.
Okay.
The failure is a failure of management.
You want to respond?
I would see it as a failure of intelligence. You see, I keep saying, look, we are on the same page. Maybe our presentations are taking different approaches. I agree, whatever is being done, whether by the government or by the military, is not good enough yet. If we lose a single soul, it means so much to us. Not until we are losing hundreds of them. Okay? I see a failure of intelligence. Immediately after the 9/11, Western countries and Middle East countries tripled their allocations to intelligence in their